Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and in this video I decided to film my first study with me, and this is just at-home study that I like to do a bit every week, and I thought I'd show you guys what I'm studying and how I do it. And this was actually a 5-hour study with me where I just kind of wanted to dive into a few topics. So I'm studying a little bit of Islam and taking some time to study about cults and public speaking, also taking an hour for reading. So this was actually last Saturday morning. It was January 26th, and I went from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I'm just writing out things that I want to go over. So I have 2 hours for Islam, also 1 hour for cults, 1 hour for public speaking, and 1 hour of reading. And something I like to do each month is create like a master list of books that I want to read, articles that I've been meaning to read, maybe some podcast episodes I've been wanting to listen to and just haven't gotten around to doing yet. So that's kind of what I like to do in these days. And I'm just going to start with this first hour. I actually had some notes that I jotted down in my notebook from the Quran, and this is from months ago, and I thought I need to just type out my notes. When I read books, sometimes I like to highlight and underline and flip pages down, and that's just what I like to do. If it's my book, I don't do this with every book that I read, but if it's my book and I'm getting into the material and I want to quickly reference it later on, maybe for a video or a blog post, I like to create a file in my laptop where I have specific notes that I jotted down when I was reading that book, and also just points that I want to make, especially when it comes to these deeper issues. And then this happened. Hey guys, so I just noticed the battery on my camera is out of charge, and I have 3 batteries, yet I've had them kind of forever, so I need to get some new ones because they all say they're charged up and ready to go, and then I start filming and I can't film for very long because they just die instantly. So I need to get some new batteries, but I'm going to film on my phone just a little bit. Sorry about that. It's only like 9:20 and I'm already like, oh, this sucks. Okay, anyway, just letting you guys know. Alright, so continuing now with the iPhone footage. And I just wanted to speed this up, and I love watching these study with me's, and I've never filmed one, obviously, because I'm actually not in school, and I just love to study, so I wanted to film one of these, and I found that I had several notes that I took from Ayaan Hirsi Ali's book, Heretic, so I'm taking that time to add that into this video as well. So these are some notes from Heretic, and you guys probably just saw I have Islam and the Future of Tolerance right there too, and I have notes from that book as well. So I'm just taking some time to go through my notes and go through vocabulary words and kind of refresh and re-jog my mind on terms and things like that. Also, if you haven't seen the movie yet, Islam and the Future of Tolerance, I highly recommend it. You can find it online. I'll put some links down below so you guys can check it out. But I've just continued to add notes and also kept referencing back to the Quran, and I've also started writing about the word Islamophobia because I've gotten called an Islamophobe, and I want to make a video all about that word specifically and make it maybe like a 2 minutes or under video. So that's what I'm kind of working on now as well, is just some writing and also referencing these books. But after that, I decided to take a break, just a short break for about 15 minutes, and yeah, I was getting a little tired and a little hungry, so I moved over to the kitchen. I have one of these everything bagels, just half of it, with some cream cheese. And while I was on my break, I decided to go over to Twitter and just check things out and respond to people. I actually took Twitter off of my phone because I realized I was just scrolling through it endlessly, and I thought I'm putting way too much time into Twitter just looking at things and posting things, and I need to take it off my phone, so I did. So if I tweet, it's from my laptop or computer. But yeah, I decided to go over to Secular Jihadist Podcast, and I'll put their links down below as well. They're awesome, and I really wanted to take some time to listen to Mimsy. I'll put her channel down below as well. But I really loved this episode of Women Who Leave Islam. And of course, I have my notebook beside me. Sometimes I just find myself wanting to just sit and listen to someone talk, and if I have things to make notes on, I will, but I like to have that there, just in case I want to make a note of something that someone said. And I don't do this with every podcast by any means, but after that I decided to move on to my hour with cults.
Into the evolutionary level above human, synonymous with the kingdom of God.
So obviously I've been diving into the Heaven's Gate cult, and I never sat down and actually watched all of the initiation tape from Marshall Applewhite, and this is creepy. But I decided to jot down some notes just on some things that he said because I wanted to make a video about why people join cults, and I really found this interesting. I think it was a few months before I watched just part of the first tape that you see online, and again, I'll link everything down below, but there's more to it, and I didn't realize that before, so I decided to watch them all.
To the heavens in 1985. Gave me birth into that kingdom before this civilization began.
Oh my god.
Now, I'm not here to sell you on that.
Of course not.
Or who I am, or who these are. I'm here to offer you, as these are, an opportunity to know the truth so that if you can connect with it at any level, then you might survive.
Just an off note, listening to this guy really creeps me out. I knew before he kind of had like this creepy look to him just because of the eyes. Like, whoa. From what he's saying, it doesn't sound, just from this initiation tape, it doesn't sound too far off from what I used to be involved in back in my religious days, I guess. So it's just kind of creepy. And again, just taking notes and kind of jotting down my own thoughts on why people join cults, and also writing down some keywords. You can see the word recycling and WTF right there. And continuing on with Heaven's Gate, I found this podcast and I'm on episode 2, and it's just really interesting to hear from the family and from people who were involved in that cult. It just kind of blows my mind because of the similarities of just the sense of belonging or wanting to belong, and I can relate that to when I was younger and I was kind of in like a cult myself, so it's just kind of jarring, kind of relating certain ideology with also what I've been involved in my past. And it's interesting too because at the very end of the first episode, you'll hear the podcast host say, you know, this could have been you, this could have been me, this could have been any of us. And it's just frightening, honestly. So next I moved on to my hour of public speaking, and I actually read this book a few weeks back. I'll put my Goodreads account down below so you guys can check out what books I'm reading, have read, currently reading. But I again have several pages of notes from this book, and this is actually my pick for my book club as well, so I'll put that link down below as well. But I have pages of notes from this book. I really enjoyed it, and if you're someone who's looking to do public speaking, or maybe you're just wanting to communicate your ideas better, I really recommend that book. I thought it was great, and I'm actually taking time out to also add a post to my book club Instagram account. So I've actually been slacking on that, and I'm trying to do better with the book club posts. And if I don't, I'm probably gonna discontinue the book club, but I want to do more of that. And for the last few minutes, I decided to watch a TED Talk. I love watching speakers, and I thought Audrey Mason Hyde did incredible. Very articulate, just great command presence. I love watching a speaker and listening to their inflections, their tones. I'm just kind of a weirdo. Like, I sound like such a creep, but I love watching great speakers or people who can just communicate their ideas very well. And I love taking notes and just kind of learning from people who are great speakers. I also slightly feel like this is cheating too because Audrey is an actor. So I'm like, oh man, you already have a leg up on speakers because you already are good at acting. Anyway, for this hour of reading, I'm reading The Story of Philosophy, and I've kind of just been bouncing around different chapters of this book. I haven't been going in order just because it goes through different philosophers, so I wanted to read about certain ones first. And yeah, I have this Harry Potter bookmark. It's Luna Lovegood, and I thought this was an appropriate bookmark for this chapter on Nietzsche. So let me know if I'm pronouncing his name right or wrong. I might be butchering it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I just wanted to read about him and also jot down some notes. Again, as you can see, I don't have things underlined or highlighted in this book. I just think this book is really pretty, and I wanted to keep it clean. I don't know, I go back and forth on what things I decide to highlight or underline. I also have a beautiful collection of William Shakespeare's work, and I have not highlighted or underlined anything in that book because it's just too beautiful and I don't want to mark it up. So yeah, I go back and forth on that. Let me know if you guys do that or not. But I'm just taking notes here and spending the rest of this hour just reading. But this was my simple 5-hour study with me, and let me know if you guys would like me to film more of these.